Welcome to the You Are the Universe podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Haffer, intuitive healer, holistic life and body coach with over 20 years of facilitating massive transformation for people and animals. And I'm so glad you're here. And today's topic is the power of being in the question, getting unstuck in life and biz. Did you know that being in the question is an invitation for new information, new possibilities, and new points of view to show up in your life? In contrast, thinking you know the answer brings your flow to a dead stop. So think about that. So if I were to ask you a question, I think typically in life, we're kind of in the habit of, when someone asks us a question, that the expectation is that there is an answer to it. But what if being in the question instead of doing the question was the thing that would help you get unstuck in all aspects of your life? So let's just ponder that. So again, think about any time someone asks you a question, why do you think blah, blah, blah? We automatically assume that we have to have an answer. And when we think we know what the answer is, that immediately shuts the door on any other possibility, right? So when you come to a conclusion about any aspect, any topic that you can think about, whether it be about your health, your wealth, relationships, or even the news, then there's really no other opportunity for us to create anything other than what is already being created. So what does it really mean to be in the question? Again, when you ask a question, it opens the space of more possibility. When we think we have the answer, or again, as I had said earlier, have come to a conclusion about something, it literally stops all flow to anything else, as if you've shut the door on any other possibilities. So when you think you know everything, or you think you know the answer about something, the universe is just going to say, okay, great. Well, I guess you got that covered. So what are some questions you can ask yourself when you feel stuck or like you've hit a wall? What would it take for you to be more aware and open to infinite choice and possibility? Question mark. A wonderful possibility could be presenting itself, and it's beyond what you can perceive. What if I could be successful at business and have fun doing it? What if you were willing to receive, acknowledge, and be grateful for the awareness of each person in your business and the contribution that they make? So again, these are some questions about being in the question. You know, part of my morning ritual, I have lots of different layers to it, and in future episodes, I'll talk a little bit more about the morning ritual. But part of the ritual, my ritual in the morning, is to be in the question about, so just think of any aspect of your life that isn't quite going the way you'd like it to go. So again, your business, your health, your bank account, relationships, anything really. So just take a moment, just pause and take a moment and think of one aspect of your life that you quote unquote wish could be different. So in the morning, I whatever the focus is on whatever the thing is, whether it's about, healing my body, whether I'm having some dissonance or discord in a specific relationship in my life, if I'm feeling stagnant or stuck in my business, I'll pick one area of my life and then I'll ask a question, right? So what would it take, for example, let's say we're talking about business, and maybe you've been in this business for a while and you're feeling like the business isn't growing, it's not thriving, maybe you're not feeling connected to your business. So a question could be something like this, right? What would it take for me to have more awareness around what might be missing in my business? question mark. Now, you're not expected to have an answer to that question. That is just an energetic opportunity to be able to put that question out to the universe, source, the divine, God, goddess, Jesus, Buddha, whatever that looks like for you, that you are open to receiving and perceiving information about guided next steps in the area of your life that you're feeling challenged with. So you write the question down, and then you sort of just let it go. Instead of becoming attached to it and overthinking, overanalyzing, overprocessing, you don't want to keep asking that question a million times throughout the day. Just put it down, put it out there, say you're open to receiving more information around that. And the information could come in a social media post. It could be something in the mail. Maybe you get an email from somebody, or someone says, hey, have you ever thought about this thing? Right. So all of a sudden, all the synchronicities and the divine interventions will start to show up. It's pretty magical, but it really isn't magical. It's just that you've decided to be open to receiving, right? More information from, instead of having it be closed off. So you could awaken your business and your life when you ask more questions. Trust your knowing and develop awareness of what else is possible. Who or what can I add to my business or my life that would generate more money today and in the future? That's another great question. Who or what can I add to my business that would generate money today and in the future? ? And you write it down. And then again, the next morning in your morning ritual or your afternoon ritual, you look in your journal again, you look in your notebook. I would highly recommend you have a notebook or a journal that is dedicated to your transformation. And so that way, you put a date in there and you can kind of reflect on things and look at things and see how you're progressing and growing over time. It can be fairly powerful. What are you unwilling to do? Be, have, create, and generate that if you did and would invite more possibilities than you could ever imagine into your life. I know these questions can sound a little confusing. This is from an amazing organization that I have done a lot of training with and that I use as a resource called Access Consciousness. And so the questions can be a little tricky, and that's because the mind gets very set in its ways, and we kind of want to have a little bit of a mind frick here, right? Because the mind the ego and the mind thinks it needs to control everything. And often it's detaching from the outcome and stepping back. And instead of doing, it's really about being and receiving and getting more expansive. If you think about control is very restrictive. It's constriction, right? Think about when you think about control, how does that feel in your body? Versus if you were to say, I'm in divine alignment, or I'm going with the flow and I'm open to, and I'm inviting in more possibilities, right? To be and have and create and generate in my life and in my business. So another tool that I often use in this realm of making decisions and choices is something called heavy or light. Is it heavy or is it light? So this is really step one when I teach my clients and students on how to start to truly tap in to their own inner knowing, your own intuition, and how can you truly trust yourself? Because often, as children or teenagers, as we got a little bit older, we've all, I don't even like to use the word mistakes, because I just believe that everything is a learning. Everything that we've done over the course of our lifetime whether it was painful or it created lots of joy in our world, or whether you actually thought it was a mistake, I don't believe that. I don't believe that we ever make mistakes. However, if you continuously make those same choices around the same area of your life, then that's something to take a look at. Would you agree? Yeah, I would say so. So it's this tool called, is it heavy or is it light? So if you were to ask yourself a question, let's just say someone came to you, it was a client or a business opportunity, comes to you, and in your head, the only reason that you may want to say yes to this opportunity is because you need the money. Let's just say you need the money. So how does that feel in your body, right? So anytime an opportunity comes to me, I usually will say to myself, will this bring me joy? Will this bring growth? Will this bring expansion, right? Is this in divine alignment with my mission in life? So again, think about this. Think about when there's something that you have to do that you don't want to do. Let's say you got an invitation to go to some party and you have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And your body's just saying no. And you just literally feel heavy in the body, like depressed, heavy. That is usually a sign that is not for your highest and best. And then that might be a big fat no for you. Versus if it feels light in your body. Have you ever been been in a situation where you've been invited to something, or you meet someone, maybe you have a networking call with them, or whether it be a potential romantic partner or a friendship or a business relationship, and you meet them, and throughout the entire conversation, you seem like you're in the flow, and the energy just feels very up. So that would be light, right? So does it feel heavy or does it feel light? And so again, just start playing with this tool in your life as things come forward. And I'm not saying that there are going to be things in your life that you need to do, like, paying your bills and, maybe working on spreadsheets for your business, or, doing laundry or any of those things. But, what if you were to change the energy around it, right? So I get to do these things. Yeah. It's a powerful tool. I use it often. So going back to the power of being in the question and getting unstuck in your life, in your biz. Jot down. So there's going to be many, as you follow my podcast, often in each podcast, there might be a powerful tool that I use. And so I would highly recommend that you maybe create a little sticky or put it on your phone and just play with and explore one particular tool at a time. And so just work with it for the entire week. So put it on your phone, put it on your calendar, have it pop up about be in the question, and then just start to practice asking questions, right? And notice also, the big thing is just notice how often you're just assuming that this is the only answer. There's no possible way. Just watch your words, watch your thoughts, right? So your words and your thoughts hold a very, very, very specific frequency. So it's so important that you're tapping in and you're being present. If you haven't yet listened to The Power of Presence episode, I highly recommend that you do, because that's really the key and the foundation for facilitating transformation and massive change in your world, in any aspect of your life that you're looking to transmute or create a different reality around that. So remember, your thoughts and your words, what you speak and what you write all hold a very, very, very powerful frequency, whether it be high frequency or low frequency. So again, just coming into that space and state and noticing how often you're shutting things down and there's no possible way. You might get an email about going on a retreat and swimming with the whales, and in your head you think, oh, I wish that could never, and then the next thought is that could never happen. Instead of being in the question around it, well, what would it take? Well, what would it take for me to be open to and receiving the possibility of me swimming with the whales and the dolphins? And then just see how that feels in your body. And just let it detach from the outcome. However, you don't want to just do that one time and then just let it float away. You do want to revisit that, typically on a daily basis, on a frequent basis, and just sit in it. Maybe meditate in that energy. And again, be open to receiving. It's quite a powerful tool. So once again, I invite you to play with this. Does it feel heavy or does it feel light? Right? And then if it does feel heavy around playing with being in the question, will you delete, destroy, and uncreate everything that's coming up for you? All your belief systems, your stories, your points of views, everything that we bought since we were little girls and little boys about the fact that we should know the answer to something and that often there's just no other way. So on that note, I will leave you here to ponder being in the question. And remember to be and see the magic in everyday life.